Manenekazi sifikile sigalelekile igama LB Lebohang Andres for my political connect. Let me take this moment and say thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, thank you for sharing and hitting that like button. Please tell everybody, your ex, umthakathi, tell everybody ukuthi sifikile sigalelekile. Namhlanje inendwendwe gama lakhe ngoSiyabonga. Janchep? How's my closer? I know you're Zulu, but yeah, how's my closer? Does it sound legit?
We'll see. Yasazi. That's it.
Well,
Ngiyapela mfethu njani?
Top wazile man. Your surname is Motha, right?
Yeah, Motha.
Motha.
Yeah.
Athi igama lomuntu Motha.
Yeah, I know there's a Chelsea player, I think. Yeah, I think there's a Chelsea
player.
I
wouldn't know. Me and soccer just hot and oil.
Yeah.
The world that is expensive.
The Chelsea. Hey, okay, I don't follow soccer. Got a corner muntu.
At least you ask, nangazi lutho.
To Motha.
Angazi. Babekhuluma ngebhola lapha ejimini, I just go my way. Okay. Yeah, because they're gonna ask me questions against. No ways. Chief, how's your day, man? Or should I say morning?
Yo, look, I just came back from Mpumalanga.
I
left.
I forgot to ask you to put your phone on silent.
Nah, my phone is off.
No, my phone app.
Nah, my phone is off.
Our phone app.
It's off for a reason, because we have phone net.
Who are you avoiding?
No, I don't want to interrupt this moment.
Well, hey, comrade, tell the truth.
Well, let me tell you something. Nah, my phone is off. My phone is off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Thank you. You're the first girl who touch your phone.
No, because I'm.
You know these things.
These things are part of my life.
Your daily bread. Okay, cool. Shout out, man. Who's Siyabonga Motha?
Yo, it's very funny, you know, because people think Siyabonga is a Joburg person, Abani. Okay. Well, I was born here in Joburg.
All right. Wait.
No, I'm not So yeah, I was born in a hospital. It's in Kempton Park. It's called what now? It's called Van Riebeeck. I forgot the name.
Van Riebeeck.
But it's in Kempton Park. So I was born there. From my dad is Zulu.
Okay.
Originally from Pumolo.
Okay.
But later moved to Newcastle. And then my mom is from Mpumalanga. So after Emelo, going towards the Swaziland Oshuk border gate.
Okay, what driver taxi before?
Mina. I'll tell you something about
Hey, you know these routes, my man.
No, but that's my village.
Okay, fine, continue.
So
No, the reason I'm saying you know these routes. You spoke about Pretoria, but it's fine.
We'll get into Pretoria as well. But anyway, so my mom is from, just before you get into Oshuk border gate, there's a village they called a Betty's-Good. It's a village.
Betty's-Good? What?
I don't know. It's a Betty's-Good or something like that.
I thought you said bed is good. That's when
when I was still young, I thought, why are they calling this bed? It's good. But now it makes sense. So it's like it was a farm and I don't know, something like that.
Okay, cool.
So my mom is from there. So I spent time like Josie was there for like 4 years. And then I went that side, did my primary school.
All right.
And came back to Joburg to do my high school. And tertiary and then...
Tourist, to travel.
And then but between 3 provinces.
Damn it.
So,
So how was it like growing up?
Growing up was when I look in hindsight now, it wasn't smooth. But
why?
Yeah, but okay. So the reason why it wasn't smooth because my parents were in Joburg. We're both working in Joburg.
And just like us.
Well, I was with my uncles and aunts.
Oh.
That side. So, but because it was pretty much a setup for almost each and every family around that, the mother and the father in Joburg, and the kids are either left with the aunts, the grandparents, or any other family members.
Okay.
So, but there were those moments where you just don't know anything. That village is just too small. There's nothing happening there. You can't even go outside. So the guys, This guy just put me on the spot. Didn't mean to expose my village. So it was like that, you know. It's a village, a very small village. There's nothing happening. You can't even go out and sell tomatoes on the street because no one's gonna buy because people buy those up.
Wow, but that's good though.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good, but if you don't have a plan on how to make money, then there's no plan at all that side.
Damn.
You know, it's yeah. So it wasn't. When I look in hindsight, at the time it was okay because that was just set up. But now when I look back, it wasn't really sweet.
Okay, at least to survive velo sumdala manje.
Yeah, I had to survive.
Siyabonga, uyahamba ePretoria.
But
uqala ama sentence ngo
well, I didn't have a choice.
So, uma usakhula, what were your interests?
So I had so many things.
Yeah.
So I had so many things, just like any other child. But my thing was never around I would say the traditional way of doing things like go to varsity. I mean, it was everybody was told that go to school, finish school, go to varsity, study, and then get a good job. I've always been a creative.
Shout out.
So from primary school, but I was part of, you know, when we have events at school, I was part of choir team.
Wow.
Yeah, they would. It makes sense. It makes sense.
Cut. We're out. Thank you. That's our closure. We never screen our guests. Yes, this is a problem. Yes, man.
Yeah. Just bringing people in. So I was part of a traditional dance group in school. I think I was part of the drama group?
Yeah.
It's part of the debate group.
Sheesh.
The group that I failed dismally was just athletics. Sports.
Welcome to the club. I thought I was the only one.
That one. I couldn't run, couldn't play soccer. Anything that has to do with
I tried
fitness,
rugby.
Nothing.
I tried rugby, bank technique, and that's enough. And this.
Oh, I tried rugby in high school.
That was primary for me.
For me, that was the last straw. I was like, okay, sports, not for you. Leave sports. Yeah, because that's bad. So they'll want you to so they'll pass you the ball.
Yeah.
And then you look on your left, you see this big, buff guy coming towards you. You're like, what must I do now? And the other guys are in front of you. So obviously you can't pass. It's going to be a forward pass now. So there's no one at the back. You just continue running and you're thinking, should I kick the ball? Should I go through this guy? What's going to happen? And I'm size 28. Not even size 28. I think I was 13 to 14. So I...
Damn it.
So yeah.
But so, you know more.
So I pretty much in primary school, those are the things that I did.
Yeah.
But sports didn't work out. Sports was the only thing that didn't work out because I was a top achiever. That's what they call it, top achiever. Yeah, then I used to get those certificates. I still have some of them. Yeah, average. You are top 1, top 10. You were number 1 position.
I want to prove something. They are on the wall, right?
Yeah.
At home. Were they eliminated and then put in a frame?
I think they're in a file. Mine are in a file. Yeah, I think they're in a file.
Because how you are black indeed.
Yeah.
You know, we put it on the wall.
No, they
or
were
inside the room divider.
Yeah. So they were in the room divider. I think my family changed that room divider, so they took all the doors. So maybe if I go back there, I have to.
But why was the thing called a room divider, but it was against the wall?
That's a good question, basically. That's a good question because if you're thinking, if you're thinking about it like literally.
But it's called a room divider.
So you see a room and then the divider is inside because it's dividing the room.
but it's on the wall.
But it's against the wall, so you're like, how's it dividing the room? But I think maybe we need to go and check. Maybe it was not room divider. Maybe it was something else. Then it's like, it's a room divider because that's what we do.
Every black person knows what is a room divider and shit down.
Because if it's like those TV stands, people are like, room divider. You're like, okay. So here's my thinking around this. We should just go back and check what is the initial name because clearly I don't think it's the. Yeah, because when you mount your TV.
Yeah.
Like usebenza on a room divider usebenza. I saw the guys come. Because you can't mount your TV now. You can't mount
What
your
the
TV.
fuck?
So like, so
Usebenza room divider.
yeah. So there's a kind of room divider. Let me see. Yeah, we can room divider. It has.
And that's
It has those-
have a room divider at home.
We had a room divider. You know, we had a-
Okay.
So here's the thing that we had in at home. So when I was still young, my late uncle had a sound system. They used to call it
hi-fi.
Kumba Kumba.
Oh, Umba.
Before hi-fi, there was
Oh.
Kumba Kumba.
Damn
I
it.
don't know how it looks like, but because there were those speakers, but the actual unit was not there anymore. I don't know what happened to it. So then my other uncle bought a hi-fi. It was
Okay,
a black
yeah.
hi-fi. So it had
Cassette.
twin cassettes and a CD.
Oh, okay.
It was nice.
Level up.
I used to tell our friends, get in some elevated. So then someone in the village, I can't remember which family.
By George. And that.
So I don't know which family, I can't remember, but it was one of those families that we used to visit. And then later, they bought the hi-fi that was playing DVDs now.
Oh.
And then we were left behind. It's like, Asa. And then my other uncle also upgraded now. Bought,
The competition is
no, that's not a competition. I think those things were like, I must have this thing. So then he bought a hi-fi, which plays a 3-CD hi-fi now. Remember that one? So when it opens, then it spins like this. Yeah. So they had that one.
Damn,
I think it
losing
played.
our age, dog.
I think it also played DVDs. That one.
Did it? But the one that we had in a puzzle. We could open it and then you could put a vinyl.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I see that one. Okay. So Tina, we didn't have that one at home. So Tina, like a basic
yeah,
hi-fi.
No,
No, yeah, no. If I were to tell you about my village, there's nothing, guys. There are people who are creative who have made it in life.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there are those who are just stuck in that village.
The ones that have made it in life, do they go back and try to empower others? No,
Let me not lie. There are those people who are. I wouldn't say they empower through saying, "Hey, I don't know
It's
about
about
those.
who you know these days.
Well, yeah. It's about those who are saying, well,
yeah.
So I wouldn't necessarily say I know someone who has taken someone and say, now I'm siblings. But I know there are those people who grew up there. Some of my mates went to different places. Some went overseas.
Nice.
Some went to Cape Town, different parts of the country and the continent. And then they came back and to say, guys, it's doable.
It's possible.
It's just
Black child is possible.
Yeah, it's just different. It wouldn't work the same way.
True.
But it's possible for everybody. So there are those people who have. We have in our family we have, I think it's our first doctor.
Yeah.
So she's my age. Oh well, through bloodline, she's my aunt. Yeah, she's married. Please stay away, please. Please. Imagine going all the way to escort her to Matatiel. Guys, petrol is expensive. Do you have airport in Matatiel?
Not another one. Not another one.
Okay.
Boy. Come on. First it was Bramike.
Oh yeah.
Cabello. Who else was it?
Because
KB went in.
Yo. No man, my dad is the shit, dog. But let's not dwell on it. It's
Yeah.
not about my dad right now. I love you.
so we had first doctor.
Yeah.
She's like we went to the same primary school. So bloodline wise, she's my aunt, but we're the same age.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're the same age, but bloodline, she's my aunt. So she went to Cuba to study there, and she's a medical doctor now. And I think for me, I think there's so many people within the family who have inspired me. But I think she inspired me
In a different way. Yeah.
Yeah, like in a different way because she made it possible for everybody to think, but if you're coming from this dusty village and you go all the way to Cuba, you study, you come back, and you become a doctor in your own province, close to your village, close to your
So
hometown.
she didn't study, become a doctor, and then leave.
No.
She still worked up on my God.
Yeah, she still works closer to where she was born.
Shout out to her.
Which is, I think, for me,
I'm single now. Yeah, boy.
Well,
So, yeah.
so that village is close to Swaziland, and it's very.
How close is it to Swaziland? Hey, not Swaziland, but let's not dwell on it. Masiyagalapo.
Maybe it's like, because it's gravel road, maybe it's like, I'd say 45 minutes away.
Damn.
Well, maybe.
We've got a passport. We need to go to Swaziland. Anyways, so man, you were quite creative at school.
Yeah.
So abazali bayibona le creativity. Are they encouraging it or what's happening?
Okay, so being born in a family where parents are no longer in a relationship can be very challenging.
Abasa Joel.
No, they're like, hey, chief. Great.
And is it?
So if you are born in that family, you are bound to have challenges in terms of having parents that would understand you. It's a different story if you are staying with your mother here, and then your father is in like 30 kilometers away. But if you are close to 400 kilometers away from your parents, and your parents are no longer together,
yeah.
It's a challenge because they don't quite communicate. They don't communicate unless it's like, hey, your child doesn't have school shoes.
Yeah.
That's the only time.
Damn.
So I think my dad only learned about my character a little bit later in my life.
So you never used to fight, because it happens a lot where if your father doesn't know umntanakhe quite well, and ufuna abe yilo, but man, here's the direction that I want to take as a person.
We fought about that, and I speak publicly about it. We fought about yeah, we fought about it. We fought about it later after my high school. Typically, guys, any black family would say, "Oh, Mtanam, you need to go and be a lawyer." At some point, my dad spoke about me being a lawyer. I was like, hey, lawyer. So those who are lawyers, it's good.
This is babosha wena lapha ne court manje.
Yeah, I will touch on me. Yeah, I will touch on me.
But you failed to appear in court.
It was December last year. See, such things. But not disrespect to the advocate Tefu. He loves his job.
Too much.
And I think he's competent, and he, But he went there. Maybe he went there. I don't know his story. On a side note, but maybe he went there saying, "Let me try this law thing," and it worked out, and he loved it, and he pushed, and he became an advocate. So my dad only later in my life was like, he tried to, in a way, should I say, cultivate. Just have a safe space, be this. Which it makes sense. I mean, as we have in our black families, we have so many people who are unemployed, who are trying entertainment, who are trying so many things that are still not classified as a way of making a living in our
It's
black
true.
community.
They don't even know what a freelancer is.
They don't even know what a freelancer is. If you're sitting funny enough, during COVID when I was working from home or sitting on my laptop with my cell phone, people are like, you're not working. How do you work and look at your laptop and type and work? You're answering calls and you're typing and you're saying you're working. I am, and go to the shop. Because they didn't see it as
as a proper job, yeah.
Yeah, as a proper job.
Because
yeah, and you come back later, you're exhausted, you just drop the bag. So we had those disagreements with my dad, but I was happy eventually that he accepted that this is what I wanted to do. Because I think me and we have a similar journey.
Okay.
He's a politician. But in politics, you don't just wake up in the morning and start having a good job. You need to be a comrade. You need to
pay your dues.
Yeah, you need to be a comrade. You need to toy a little bit. You need to campaign. You need to hand out free T-shirts. You need to be someone's PA, low key, but not officially. Ghost positions, Yeah. So he had his time where he was a volunteer.
Yeah.
It is time when he was a volunteer, and when he tells me about the story, it was not like an easy journey. So I think for me, also when I became a volunteer, chasing what I love,
he understood.
He didn't understand. Well, he understood, but he didn't want it because he knew how tough it was for him. So I
don't want this for my kids.
Basically, that's how it was.
Oh. Yeah. So, when did the radio bite you?
The radio bug.
Yeah, about from there, radio bug. Yes.
It Oh, long time ago. But one thing, still going back to my village, if you hear someone on radio, and there was this, I don't know if it's a lie or what, to say you can only be a radio DJ or presenter or radio host if you are a qualified teacher. There was that thing in our village. I didn't understand it.
Man. Tuso Mutawung on the City FM, he was actually a teacher before.
So many of them in PPS, so many of them. Well, they've retired now.
Maybe it's because they were fundi.
I think they wanted someone who can speak, who can
articulate very well.
Yeah, so there was that. I don't know if it was a qualification or a preference to say if you're a teacher, you can.
Yeah.
So there was that thing to say, you can't just be a radio DJ. You must be a teacher. That thing. So I've always loved radio, and I'll tell you the people that made me love radio. First person made me love radio. It was Linda Spear.
Mr. Magic.
Mr. Magic.
From which show?
So when he was doing the
breakfast.
That was way before the breakfast. So Linda Spear was doing afternoon drive.
Breakfast.
Mazizon.
No, Mr. Zond.
Mazizon. Mazizon.
Okay, sharp.
So that was the first place that I was like, this thing is nice, man. Because he used to do the afternoon drive and used to do the local top 20 on Saturdays. Damn. And that was fire.
Yo, so he's been around in Lokuzanen.
Yeah, he joined. So he joined Ukhozi FM in 1996, I think, and then he left in 2012.
Damn.
Yeah. So that was him. Ulinda Spear, the first person that made me love radio.
So what was there about him?
So he made radio simple. Radio was just simple. During his time, there was no that thing of having 500 million people in students still talking nonsense. And sorry guys, not disrespect, but this co-hosting thing, it needs a style. It's like, it needs proper planning. Don't just throw people on air and say, just do a show. There must be, So
there's a question that's following up.
Yeah. So there was, it was a one-man show. Obviously, he had people who were doing
news,
there was sports, there was news,
traffic.
There was traffic.
Why was traffic in Zulu?
There's a mkwaqo.
Musukamba manga.
Yeah.
I see it's minya something.
Well, that's a since it's like it's minya somkwaqo. Yeah, it's still right. Kodwa ke.
Hey, Zulu sako. Continue.
So Linda Spear, his drive was a one-man show, and it worked. And he was one person for me when I started radio later. I went back to conceptualize on how he was doing things. So in radio, you're speaking to one person, but that's slowly changing. But that's a different conversation.
Now that's what I know. You talk to one person.
But he had, like, I think, we'll have to check maybe with the stats, but at the time I think his drive show was like
the most.
I think it was number one at the time in the country. I stand to be corrected. So, but he was able to capture each and every person from different parts of, let's say, the parts
the
where
province.
The parts where Ukhozi FM can.
Oh, it's national. It's national.
Because Ukhozi FM is 100% KZN, a little bit of Eastern Cape, a little bit of Free State, 100% of Mpumalanga, if I'm not mistaken, and then a little bit of Limpopo.
Yeah.
A little bit of Northwest, but I don't know. So he was able to call out these places like Joburg Park Station, Durban Station. Like, if you are there, you will have it in mind. Like, you feel like this guy is just talking to me alone. So he was very brilliant when it comes to that.
And then the second person?
Second person was Alex Mtiani.
Oh.
It was Alex Mtiani. So at the time, Alex Mtiani was doing breakfast and Linda Spear was doing drive.
Okay.
So Alex Mtiani, he used to host a breakfast show, Ukhozi FM, Siyabonga Mngadi. Siyabonga Mngadi was super nice.
Bazalana no DJ Mngadi.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. So it was that Alex Mtiani. Mtiani did. So there was a quiz at 7:25. So I had to leave. So I had to leave 7:30 and go to school. So there was a quiz at 7:25, and it was super amazing. That quiz was super amazing all the time.
So, latest girl.
Most of the time I was late. Most of the time I was late. Sometimes, So then there was a lady by Unfonjana Dlamini from Likwalakwala FM. Okay, so if I were to break it down to you, so when I was there, the only station that I could listen to, there was no Metro FM, there was no YFM, there was no
5.
There was no 5.
Just Ukhozi.
There was SAFM, but at the time, me and Yeah, but
You didn't know
but,
English
but
at
they were
that
just
time.
but they were just talking, and you're like, why are they talking all day? They need to, you know, chicken yeah, and play nice music. Now they're talking all day. So, but it's funny how I've fallen in love with talk radio, particularly the setup that we have in South Africa.
Okay.
So there was Kwala FM, Ukozi FM, Jacaranda FM, Alpha Radio, but it's a community radio station in Park Plaza in Mpumalanga, and there was a little bit of this radio station from Swaziland, but I think it used to clash with Alpha at some point. Was it Alpha?
My frequency.
Yeah, I think they used to clash at some point. And it was funny because now if you put the radio on this side, that radio station in Swaziland is a little bit clearer. But if someone moves the radio this side, Alpha is a little bit clearer. So it was that funny thing because at the time that my village, there was no SABC3.
Okay.
In fact, ETV was our SABC3 because we thought it was exclusive.
It was the ish.
Yeah, it was the ish.
Yeah.
So those are the people, Mfonjana Dlamini, Alex Mtiane. I'm glad I've met Mfonjana Dlamini, and I've also met Alex Mtiane. I haven't met Linda Spear.
Mr. Magic.
Mr. Magic. But I'm going to meet Linda Spear, Soon Matuzane.
Soon Maduzad.
Yeah.
Quick in your heart.
And also, when I came to Joburg to visit my mother, I would listen to Fresh.
Okay, the big dog.
Yeah. Then there were those people that were there that made radio good.
Okay. So, man, when did you join VOW FM?
Joined VFM in 2018.
Why VOW?
Okay.
What were you doing?
Okay, funny story. I'll cut it short because I talk a lot. But I'll cut it short. I'll compress the conversation. Yeah, honorable member, I'll just compress it. So that it matters. So that it matters everywhere. So in 2016, my mother was like, "Hey, Chief, you're not getting a job. You need to go and study something," because I just had only matric. Go study something. So I went to Tamilian Correspondence, and I did technical drafting, technical drawing. I did a software called AutoCAD. So I graduated in 2017. Looked for internships. Dololo. And then I was like, "Hey, but this radio thing is still there," because in 2014, I was part of a team in Chipperstown where I live, of a team that wanted to start a community radio station. We did it. We did start the community radio station, but we couldn't get a spectrum, and yeah, it didn't apply. It was really tough, and we didn't have funders and whatnot. But we just battled. So that radio thing from childhood, and then to 2014, and then in 2017 later, I'm checking. Like, yo, hey, this college is expensive. 40,000 a year. Hey. And I check. Boom, I find the Wits Radio Academy.
Nice.
I'm like, hey, okay, Wits. Hey, but me and Wits. Hey, when I qualify at Wits, I think that's.
So your mindset was like, hey,
I'm like, hey, Wits, they take serious people only. People who know their story. So I got there. I met a lady by Lauren Poison. Lauren takes me through the process to say, "Hey, Chief, this is how the course works. This is the money." And like at the time, I think it was 21,000 for the
Radio Academy.
Yeah, for the advanced radio certificate.
Okay, cool.
It was 21,000, and I'm thinking, I just graduated. Would my parents allow this thing for me to go back and study while I'm not working? This thing's not gonna work out. But anyway, I applied. I was accepted. And then first day in class, guys. First day in class. But let me tell you something that I think for me was a revelation that I should continue with radio. So I used to produce music, you know.
Oh yeah, DJ as well.
Well,
Oshama Mix, I remember. Yeah.
So, but I used to produce music, like house music beats. Let me know some. Yeah, house music beats and there were songs that were really
using
nice.
what? FL.
So I used FL Studio. I used Cubase was for recording. It was really tough to study beat from. It's really tough to study beat.
Yeah.
There was also Reason.
Reason was not nice for me.
Yeah.
Reason was for. I'm sorry to say that, but it's old school. Reason is old school. It's not. I don't know the latest version.
Yeah.
But I think I was using Reason 5. It was backward. It was backward.
Yeah,
I used to produce music. So I had a MIDI controller.
Okay.
So you know a MIDI controller, right? But I'm a petty piano, so it's a piano. But it's a MIDI controller that wanted to connect to FL Studio. And yeah. So I had that thing. So when I
every day.
Yeah. So when I was supposed to raise money to register at the Wits Academy, they wanted 700 rand.
Sheesh.
700 rand is not a lot of money if you're working. But now we're from KZN. Everybody's broke. Everybody's looking for 25, and I'm not working, man. So I'm like, my dad gets paid. Hey, when is the guy getting paid? Clearly I'm no longer dependent. I don't know when this guy is getting paid.
For the sake of the podcast, on the 25th. Yeah, I got 25.
So they wanted the registration money before month end.
Attending. Okay.
So so that you email them the proof of registration, and then they put you in the system, and then they give you the letter of
acceptance.
Acceptance. Yeah, proof of registration. Sorry.
Okay.
And there's a letter of acceptance. I'm schooling you today. They accept you.
Then they accept you.
Yeah, but accepting you doesn't mean you're already inside. It's because they're saying, what are you doing? Are you taking it or are you leaving it? Where are you? So So I had to raise that money. But I'm grateful for quite a few people in my life for making that happen. So I came back from KZN.
We're on radio now. You give them a shout out.
Motha.
Yeah.
So those people really played a very important role for me to get in there, because I think for me, so I came back from KZN, no money, nothing. Laura Net Vets wants her money for me to register. 700. I don't have the 700. Even coming back from KZN was a struggle.
My daughter.
So I had my medical. Hiking, when you're going there, it's not really tough. Hey, the problem is coming back.
Sure, continue.
Yeah, the problem is coming back. So I come back, I walk into the house and I'm looking at the MIDI controller. I'm like, what can I sell here? I'm like, MIDI controller must go. Take MIDI controller, go to this other pawn shop in Eastgate. Park Meadows. They're like, we don't buy these things anymore. Then I went to Carlton Center to another pawn shop, and then they bought it for 500. So when this guy asked me, how much do you want? I'm like, 700. Like, if I can give you 500. I was like, it's better than nothing.
Man, you're supposed to say 8 and land on 7.
Hey guys, my brain was just not functioning properly there. Please. So the guy gives me 500 rand. I walk out. I call Gugu. I need 100 rand. I need 200 rand basically. Gugu's like, hey, listen, I only have 100 rand and I'm only getting paid. I can only have 200 rand when I get paid, and now I only have 100 rand and it's not in my account. I have it cash. You have to come in. I remember it was number 20 rand. 5.
So
So how I was able to go to England. Hey, so Umama Mncane wami asked me and my brother to take Usiswe to Heidelberg.
Oh, okay.
But he had already had fuel in the car. There was no money. So I got Tito about Ugugu stays in Germiston. So I Tito, but Gugu I think I can believe 5. Where the side, so I think that I got paid 50 rand. I think it was. I remember going to the bank in Carlton Center to deposit the money. Number 5 rand, number 2 rand. Sure. That last 50 rand was made of 5 rands, 2 rands, because when Sanganis. Then I paid it. So I went to the Wits Academy. And then I was like, this YFM, I'm not going to study here only. That one must happen, So I spoke to people there. It was not really easy, but I also met like really, really good people there.
So iTalk is an iTalk Youth.
So iTalk Youth started the first proposal of iTalk Youth was in 2018.
Yeah.
That proposal, I still have it on my emails now, and I'm looking at it like, hey, Bo, what's happening here? So I sent it to the former executive producer at the Varsity Academy, Ulerato Makate. Aslerat was like, hey, Chief, I see your vision. But maybe spend some time here producing, listening to radio, and this. And I thought, that's what it is. I was like, but she gave me like a tip that worked. So I proposed the show in 2018 by Twitter. I came back in 2019 earlier by Twitter, and then they gave me a go ahead. But when it started in 2019, 6 March.
So Mabe Twitter, what makes you keep going back?
No, because I knew it was
Like,
going to work
we
out.
need a thick skin here. How did you develop a thick skin?
No, I knew it was going to work out. It was just the planning around it and the drafting of the proposal.
Oh.
But I knew that show was going to work out.
So what was the show about when you finally got it?
So, okay, here's another thing. When I went to VAR FM for the first time, well, my first few months at VAR, I listened to the breakfast. So when I got there, the breakfast was still done by DJ Flex.
Oh, yeah.
At Y now.
Who's on Y now?
Yeah, and then 9 to 12 was done by Boy Pilo Moketsi.
Who's on 5.
now. And then
Tina Zugu, get that.
Sila, Basbora, Sila.
Location.
Sila. So the 12 to 3 was done by Ferramante and Lula. Lula she's
At Y.
yeah, and Ferramante is a nice DJ now. Like
Too much, dog.
Yeah. So and then Drive was done by Mike V, East Coast Radio now.
Was it Mike V? Not Keys.
No. I came after Keys.
Oh.
When I got the Keys left. I think Keys left 2017, and I got the 2018.
Okay, yeah.
So it was Mike.
So
V.
Mike V, who's on East Coast Radio now.
And I was listening to this lineup. I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna make it here.
Competition.
That lineup was just too tight, guys. That lineup was just too crazy.
Yeah.
Like, it was really, really amazing. So I was like, okay, I have to create my own position here. Clearly it's not on daytime radio. And I started listening to the overall radio very often. I used to stay behind
The
it.
structure of, yeah.
And listen, I'm like, oh, they don't have talk, and the talk that they have is not really what I have in mind. Okay, I'm gonna work out on a plan here. And it worked out. First few months, it was a disaster. I still have the shows there. I'm like, yo, Siyabonga, yeah.
But yo, Siyabonga. Okay, sharp.
So yeah, then it went on, and it was okay. So you were asking what the show about? It was more on. We had a lot of conversations around politics, social issues.
So did you maybe call Obaba Lapo? Actually, I've got a show. I need to interview you.
Well. Sorry, guys.
Well.
So obviously, editorial wise, it didn't make sense that I interviewed my own dad.
Nepotism.
Well, besides that, I mean,
Yeah.
if he's accused of something, let's make an example, because politicians are always accused, right? Of which, let's leave it.
Yeah.
And if he says, no, they're lying, I didn't do that. If he did it, would I even put it out on air? Some people would, but if you're thinking about it, you wouldn't want to put your dad on the spot. Because what if he loses his job? I mean, if he's guilty, then he must. Well, my dad has never been accused of corruption ever.
Not even cheating. Yeah, that.
I don't know. Well, I have to double check.
Yeah.
So he was never. So, but even if he was, I don't think I was going to be in a position. I remember when he left the position. There's a position that he left in the city of Joburg, and I was still doing I Talk Youth at the time. And people were asking me, why don't you have him on the show? I was like, I'll leave it to other presenters to do that. If they're interested in having that conversation, I'll do that. I'll have this conversation with him at home, because I think I don't want this thing to be personal now. I don't want to be personal.
Okay, fast forward. You are shining now. Shine like a star. Watch you look who's this Rehan. And Bright Star Awards. By one vision, they came out on the award. Bright Star Award.
So the family saw the vision when they saw me on was it SAPC 404 in 2019.
SAPC 4.
SAPC 404. Ish.
Oh.
Hey.
SAPC 4.
The news channel for SAP.
Ish.
I thought he said
404.
SAPC 4.
I think I said it's SAPC 4.
Yeah, I'm like, Can Johnny?
I'll rewind and check if I said that.
Or should he cut that part out?
So they saw me on SAPC. Okay, well, one of the news channels. I can't remember which. So we were interviewed at the Results Operation Center in Pretoria during the 2019
I remember.
elections. And then they saw me there. And while we was it? I can't remember. I think it was Cloudy. We were talking to Cloudy Motsuning when he was still. Well,
I was working at the SABC.
No. He was the president of the African Content Movement.
Oh,
he's the
party. Yes,
political party. So I think we were speaking to him. Okay, I don't know exactly. So they saw me there, and my phone was like. Bzz, 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 bzz. Like,
But you can see me, it's live when you're calling me.
yeah, but I'm like, maybe it could be notifications on the news, WhatsApp group. That one was not.
That notification, Dololo.
That notification at the time only came once.
Wow.
Or 25. So when they started seeing me, reporting on different things and being on TV and listening to the content that I do in radio, they're like, okay, maybe you're onto something. and they see me buying electricity now, you know.
They're contributing, Kaya.
And now looking at my sister, I'm like, but you don't have shoes now, and then, you know. So, yeah, that's, I think the Bright Star was another way of showing them that, okay, this I'm going somewhere, because it was the Bright Star, but also a nomination as well.
Oh, okay. Let's not sleep on it. Let's dwell on this award. What was it for?
The nomination?
Yeah.
So the nomination was for Best Content Producer
Uh-huh.
for Campus and Community Radio.
Okay.
Yeah, the 2020 SA Radio Awards.
Man, don't let me clap alone.
Okay, must I clap
Johnny,
for myself?
I employ you to clap for yourself. Shut up, my guy. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the Bright Side and then the nomination. But here's the thing, guys. During that part, I was unemployed, hard lockdown.
Ish.
So you're getting these things, but you're not. There's nothing ebonakalayo.
No bank notification.
No bank notification unless like you have less than R1 SMS from your cell phone network provider. Or those, you are left. You
monthly fees.
yeah, like,
But can you report back?
or your data is depleted. You have less than 5 megabytes. All those.
I hate those messages.
So it was really stressful. I've been in dark places mentally in terms of because of that, but I do talk about it because I think each and every young black person.
Waphuma kanjani?
You speak to people.
Yeah.
There's no one way of getting help. There's different ways of getting help. Some people will go through the professional side, which is good. Go to a psychologist, for therapists in different places. I speak, and when you speak about it, it gets better every time.
Was it easy for you to speak about it? Because they say men don't talk.
It's not easy, but also here's the thing. You look who you speak to.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't need people, like when you speak about such things, you don't really need people who are going to say, yeah, Donna, so here's the advice.
Okay. You
Just trust.
need somebody to listen.
You just need someone who's going to listen to you. And just be there for you. You just need those people. And I feel like...
And somebody that you trust.
Yeah, and I feel like my friends, Ukuku and Sakofats, were those people at the time.
Oh.
Even today. So I would call Ukuku and say, Ukuku, I don't know. And she wouldn't say a lot of things. She would just listen to me. You know, I'll also call the Sakofats and like, Tana, there's a problem. Hey, I'll put myself in the So that's how he made it easy for me. Yeah, so it's like my man was hosted. I spoke to my mother about it, but you know, they because of history, they have been, you know,
deprived
to speak and express themselves. So holding the pain is part of their lives,
which is not nice.
Which is really not nice, you know, when you speak. And I'll say this, and I'll say this: be very careful who you speak to about your problems, because if you speak about your problems to everybody, some people will call you crybaby. And it's because here's the thing about men. If you go to someone now and say, I'm stressed by work, things are not looking well, maybe they might not renew my contract and they might fire me, or that thing that, you know, and and then you're expressing yourself to that person. Someone will say, no danger,
true.
and then that plays with your pride as a man. And then sometimes like, I'm not going to tell anyone. So it happened to me at some point, because there are those people who say, you're weak, man, why will you complain? You know, there are those people who make you feel like, so I'm saying,
damn it.
Know the people. I've never been in a position, Ukuku, Tsakofatso, and my other friends, but I'm speaking about these two because they know pretty much a lot of things about me. Those are the people that would tell me, we are better, man. Or you have a point, let's work on it. And I'm also that person to them. You know, So it's very important. So when I was in that place during COVID, there was those things, you know, because there was a time where I was asked by this other organization to do a television interview. And people saw me there, and people, Siyabonga is doing great. Even in COVID, you're still making money. And I'm thinking, do you know that data that I used to connect, maybe it was airtime advance or something. And I was like, this interview better be short, because if it's long, then the data's going to deplete before the end of the interview. So people don't know those things, but I was fortunate that I got a job. at the because I still have volunteered Voice of Wits.
Yeah.
But I was privileged
Sorry,
to get a job at the Wits Radio. At the Citizen Justice Network as an intern during hard lockdown. And then later in 2021, that's where I got a producer position.
Njayami.
Yeah. And I was flexible, but I was also stressed because, I mean, if you've been like exposed to being on the ground bottom
On the bottom. Pants.
the moment you get
Back up.
up a little bit, it's so difficult to look up if you're not disciplined. You always look backwards and say, "Yo, I'm gonna go back there," and you become miserable.
You focus on the negative.
So it's like you're climbing the stairs or the steps, walking backwards while looking where you're coming from instead of just turning. But
And
that also
looking
needs
straight
discipline. So I think I was in that for last year. I think as every young black person
Goes through that.
goes through depression, but maybe in different levels. I think I've gone through depression.
Yeah, everybody has been there, boy. So, just to close the show now, this is the Kitchen Podcast. Can you cook, and what's your favorite meal?
Well, let me tell you something. Okay, so cooking, I'm not really a fan of cooking, but I do have a favorite dish. So, well, ucheka should be there. So there's this meal that they used
So,
to
you know, you're going to tell me about, what's this?
calamari.
Calamari.
Do you even cook calamari? How do
I
you
have
do it?
no idea.
Do you fry it? Do you cook it? Do you boil
My
it?
boy was...
Please,
didn't
guys,
know.
please educate me. Please educate me. I don't know. Do you boil it? Do you cook it? Do you fryer? We
Deep heat, you don't know. Yeah, but anyway.
So when I go to KZN, my grandmother, there's this dish that she will do, ucheke and brown beans.
Okay.
Yeah.
Isn't that for constipation, dog? Like,
No, it depends who's doing it.
does it give you constipation?
No. Brown beans, don't eat brown beans from anywhere.
Okay.
Because it takes a skill. There's a skill that needs to be applied for you to get it right. Don't just boil and put,
Salt and you're done.
Yeah. So I love ucheke. No poncheso brown. But also the lasagna.
Eh?
Yeah.
Lasagna.
Yeah, but I was to lasagna.
Wow.
It's more like I can't say ucheke.
True. So, what advice would you give to anybody ofuna ukushaya a radio?
Okay, so traditionally now, when you go through radio, there's this thing which you need to volunteer.
Yeah.
Could be from
Pay your
campus,
dues, yeah.
could be from community, could be maybe some commercial. I don't know if there are commercial allows volunteers. But you have to go through that. But in that process of you being a volunteer, you must have a plan, you must stick to your plan, but the plan comes with a lot of sacrifice. You lose friends, people misunderstand you, you lose yourself. Cost of living is high in Joburg, but also everywhere in South Africa. Cost of living is high. If you're volunteering and you're not bringing in income, that's also frustrating.
Too much.
So for me, anybody who wants to do radio, but have a plan. But don't just do radio and say, you just want to do radio.
For the fun of it.
No, you're going to do it for 2 weeks and leave. And you say you're going to just want to... They say, so radio. That thing's going to
I've got a deep voice.
That thing's going to... Yeah, that thing's going to kill you. Yeah, they told me that I have a deep voice for radio.
Wait, let's go back. Do you have time? Can you give me 2 minutes? 2 minutes. Okay, cool. This is where I'm going to apply my radio skills. He spoke about Linda Spear, who was on air, right? And he was alone, right? So now, you said there's a time where they bring in a lot of people and then you know what they're talking about. But they just did, right? Sharp. Manje, what's your take on celebs being hired just because you've got a social media following Enku? Then you're like, oh, come through.
Okay.
What's your take on that?
My take on that is that if you're a celebrity and you can do radio, it's fine. But if you're a celebrity and you can't do radio, why are you there?
But don't you think Bavanela Banyamatuba, who studied for this thing?
Look, I might be a celebrity, but also have because just check this. People mostly in the space, and I stand to be corrected, but the ones that I know, the ones who are on air, only few of them studied radio. Only
Okay,
few of
yeah,
them.
yeah.
Most people who studied radio is content, tech, management.
So thina bafundile ukuthi wanna be on air ukuthi badle imali yethu.
Well,
Let's go fetch our money. Let's go fetch our money.
so what I will say is, if a celebrity is a good radio presenter, why not? For me, I'll make examples. I won't make examples of those that I think they shouldn't be on radio. But
Okay.
For me, I'll make it a simple example. Thando Tabete. Thando Tabete, she's a good actress, but she's also a good radio presenter for me.
I haven't listened to her, but I've seen her acting.
For
I'm
me,
not gonna comment.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
cool.
for me, that's that.
Okay.
Thando Tabete, great actress. I mean, I think she also does voiceovers. Great at that. But also on radio, she's amazing.
Okay.
So I'm making
you
that
think
example.
that's why they gave her that slot when Anele went on a break.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay.
I would do that as well if I was a programs manager.
Oh, okay. Yeah, what are your plans, Velvet? Just to close it up.
Maybe my plans are to.
Surrounding radio. Are they surrounding radio or just outside radio?
I'm going on business. I'm going back to school, but I'm also doing radio.
All right. Shout out to you, my guy. All right, chap. Thank you very much. I don't know how long that was. Maybe we're gonna have part 1 and part 2. You know, comrades, hey, so yeah, they talk a lot, man. Thank you very much for coming through, my guy. Siyabonga. Get it?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Are you a rapper?
Ghostwriter. If you hear this guy's song, just know what I had a hand in it. You know, he's a producer as well.
Okay.
You call on a lap, Ghostwriter. My guy, thank you very much. Social media handles?
On Twitter, Siyabonga Motha _ Facebook. Is Facebook still a thing?
It's still a thing, dog.
Oh, Facebook. Siyabonga Motha Kantule, and on Instagram is Siyabonga Motha _
Let me tell you about Facebook. Facebook is like your Lesedi FM or Kozi FM. It's gonna stay there. People are always there.
Yeah.
Facebook light and it. Instagram! Hey, my data!
Yeah, I don't know Instagram.
Yeah, boy. Are you on Instagram?
Yeah, Siyabonga Motha _
There's free Wi-Fi, I guess.
No, I have data. I don't have.
Oh, hey, we are cheaper, man. Hey, afford that.
Yeah, my man.
Huh? Shout out to you, congrats, man. Yeah, we out, man.
Juicy. Yeah. I heard my niggas be proud of me. Look at I'm reppin' my city so wavy, ain't nobody stopping me. Yeah. I'm giving no one apologies. I'm up with the squad, can handle the sauce. I'm tryna make me some rands.